Night shifts always felt different. The world goes quiet, streets empty, every small sound starts feeling wrong. I used to think people exaggerated those stories, until I started hearing the stories myself. Stories from bartenders, gas station workers, Walmart employees, and lonely highway drivers, who all experience something they still can't explain. These are 4 unsettling, true night shift horror stories. The stories linger in the air like the fog, each tale more chilling than the last. What will you believe when the night falls? Back in 2019, I worked closing shifts at a small place called Liar's Saloon. It sat near the edge of town, overlooking the water. During the day, it looked harmless, but at night, the place felt wrong. The atmosphere shifted, becoming heavy. Whispers of secrets lingered in the air. The ocean seemed to echo the unease. I often wondered what stories it held. Each night brought a new tale to tell. Liar's Saloon was more than just a bar. It was a place where shadows danced. Most nights were quiet, just a few regulars drinking in silence, while old country music played softly from the speakers. By midnight, almost everyone was gone. The silence enveloped the room. The atmosphere felt melancholic. As the night deepened, time seemed to stand still. The world outside faded away. Just the echoes of laughter remained. In this quiet sanctuary, where stories were shared, around 1 in the morning, I noticed a black sedan parked outside. It was near the far end of the lot. The engine was still running, but nobody ever stepped out. The atmosphere felt mysterious. A large tree loomed behind the vehicle. A chain-link fence stood in the distance. Cold blue tones mixed with warm sodium lights. Drifting fog added to the suspense. The mood was thick with tension. I couldn't shake the feeling of unease. At first, I ignored it. People stopped by all the time, but after almost 40 minutes, the car still hadn't moved. The silence was unsettling. The tension was building. I could feel something was off. Everyone else seemed unaware. The rain kept pouring. I couldn't shake the feeling. What was I waiting for? The night felt alive. That's when one of the regulars looked outside. He quietly said, "Don't go near that car." The atmosphere thickened with tension. Everyone turned to look outside. A sense of foreboding filled the air. The regulars exchanged worried glances. What was about to happen? The music faded into the background. The car sat there, still and silent. Everyone felt the tension rise. What would happen next? I laughed and asked him why. But the expression on his face never changed. He just stared at the parking lot. I could feel the tension in the air. There was an eerie stillness outside. The neon lights flickered ominously. It felt like time had stopped. His eyes were filled with uncertainty. I sensed something was off. He finally looked away, conflicted. The door creaked, adding to the tension. The night felt heavy with unspoken fears. Then he told me something I wish I never heard. According to him, people had seen that same car parked there before. Always late at night, always empty. The atmosphere felt heavy and foreboding. I could feel a chill creeping up my spine. What secrets did that car hold? I had to know more. But was I ready for the truth? Some things are better left unknown. I tried convincing myself it was just another local ghost story. But around closing time, the air felt heavy, almost alive. I could hear the distant sounds of the night. Then, the headlights suddenly turned on. Dramatic light beams cutting through the darkness. Reflections danced across the ground. An eerie atmosphere enveloped the scene. I felt a chill run down my spine. What was hiding in the shadows? This was no ordinary night. I was not alone. And slowly the car started rolling. The headlights glowed through the mist. The saloon stood ominously in the night. It crept closer, inch by inch. Fog rolled in, thickening the air. The sound of gravel echoed in the silence. The car's grille gleamed ominously. A shadowy figure sat behind the wheel. It came to a halt, headlights blazing. The door creaked open, revealing darkness. Tension hung in the air like a thick fog. The sign swung, creaking in the wind. What would happen next was unknown. Nobody inside the car, no driver, no movement, just the vehicle creeping forward on its own. The night is silent, an unsettling silence, a haunting presence. Where is it going? No one knows, just the unknown. What lurks in the shadows? The regular beside me whispered. I told you not to look at it. The air was thick with tension. The whiskey glimmered ominously. Everyone was on edge. Something was lurking in the shadows. I could feel his fear. The lights danced wildly. Whispers filled the air. Even the bartender was uneasy. I had to know what was going on. But was it worth the risk? The second story came from a truck driver. He worked overnight deliveries, traveling through rural highways. The night was eerily quiet. He felt a strange sense of solitude. The silence was unsettling. Fog rolled across the road. He drove deeper into the unknown. Suddenly, a figure appeared. He had to react quickly. The tension in the air was palpable. He continued his journey. Around 3 a.m., he noticed another car. It was following him. Same distance, same speed. The road felt endless. He couldn't shake the feeling. Something was off. His heart raced with every mile. The headlights were getting nearer. He pressed the gas, feeling trapped. The tension was palpable. What did they want? He had to get away, but the chase had just... Every time he changed lanes, the car copied him. It was always there, mirroring every move. He felt a chill. The night grew tense. What was behind him? It was closing in. He swerved to escape. Panic set in. The chase was on. The storm approached. Eventually, he pulled into a gas station. He hoped to lose them here. The night was eerily quiet, but the moment he stepped outside, he felt a chill run down his spine. The other car had disappeared. He glanced back at the station. Nothing felt right in that moment. He was completely alone. The silence was deafening. He had to make a choice. Would he stay or leave? The cashier inside looked pale when he explained what happened. His hands trembled as he spoke. The atmosphere felt sterile and unsettling. Snacks and drinks lined the shelves untouched. He kept glancing nervously towards the door. His eyes were wide, filled with fear. The register stood silent, echoing the tension. He took a deep breath, trying to calm down. His grip on the counter tightened. Then she asked him one question. Her expression was serious, demanding an answer. He nodded slowly, still anxious. Was it a dark gray car? He nodded, and that's when she locked the front doors. The store felt empty. No one was around. She felt uneasy. Something was off. The doors were secure. She took a breath. The silence was heavy. Then the sign flickered. She sensed movement. What she told him several travelers had reported, seeing the same vehicle following them at night. But nobody ever saw who was driving it. The stories echoed in the minds of the travelers. Each night, the fear grew stronger. They could feel the presence behind them. A chill ran down their spine. Was it just their imagination, or was something truly out there? The unknown loomed larger each night, and the fear of the unseen driver remained. What would happen next? The third story came from someone. They worked overnight inventory at Walmart. It was a quiet, lonely shift. The store felt alive, yet empty. They moved through the aisles, stocking shelves. The silence was occasionally broken. Time seemed to stretch endlessly. They felt a strange presence around them. It was as if they were not alone. The night felt thick with tension. Then they heard a noise, a sound that echoed through the aisles. They never found out what it was. According to him, the store always felt strange. After midnight, it was too quiet. The silence was unsettling. It felt too empty. The shelves loomed overhead. One bulb flickered ominously. Outside, the world felt distant. Time seemed to stand still. An endless expanse of aisles. A cart rolled by itself. Shadows seemed to whisper, and he felt he wasn't alone. Around 2:30 a.m., employees started hearing movement. The atmosphere felt tense and unsettling. Shadows danced between the aisles, creating an eerie vibe. Pallets of electronics loomed like silent sentinels. The security cameras seemed to watch, recording every moment. Suddenly, a noise echoed through the darkness. The flickering lights added to the suspense. Employees exchanged worried glances, unsure of what to do. Fear gripped their hearts as they listened. The store was silent, but tension filled the air. Then came a loud crash. breaking the stillness. They moved cautiously, hearts racing with fear. What would they find in the shadows? They thought a customer got locked inside, but security cameras showed nobody there. The aisles were dark and deserted. The cameras captured every corner, yet no one was ever seen inside. Just shadows moving in the dark. The mystery deepened with each passing hour. What happened to the supposed customer? The doors remained closed, yet open. The silence was deafening. They searched for answers in the footage, but the truth remained hidden in the dark. Even stranger, the sounds kept getting closer. The air felt thick with tension. Something was definitely off. The lights flickered ominously. The shelves were almost bare. I could hear distant metallic noises. The reflections danced in the puddle. The atmosphere grew more unsettling. The checkout area was eerily quiet. I felt the urge to leave, but the sounds were getting closer. Shopping carts started moving by themselves. The night was quiet and still. An unsettling feeling filled the air. Something was off about the silence. A shadow flickered in the distance. These carts were left behind long ago. The lights above began to flicker ominously. They seemed to move on their own accord. Forgotten items lay strewn about. A chill wind swept through the area. The creaking echoed in the silence. The entrance felt like a portal to nowhere. What secrets did the night hold? Blank. In the darkness, silence reigns. Then suddenly a flicker. One by one, they awaken. A chorus of light fills the void. Static crackles with eerie whispers. Shadows dance in the glow. Faces emerge from the chaos. A remote forgotten in fear. The store is alive with dread. A warning echoes through the air. Panic sets in as the lights flicker, and then darkness returns. Security footage later showed something even worse. A figure standing motionless. It was a dark and quiet place. The figure loomed ominously. Its presence felt unsettling. The cameras captured everything. Then the lights began to flicker. Was it just my imagination? The store felt eerily deserted. What happened to the shoppers? Something was not right. It was watching, waiting, and then silence fell. Nobody working that night could identify who it was. The footage was unclear and unsettling. Shadows danced along the aisles. A figure moved swiftly, almost ghost-like. The guard felt a chill run down their spine. Should they sound the alarm? The silence was deafening. Every corner felt like it was hiding something. The silhouette appeared again, then vanished. Was it just their imagination? Something felt off, very off. But the footage showed nothing unusual. They tried to shake off the feeling, yet they couldn't shake the unease. The last story happened at a convenience store. It was a stormy night, with rain pouring heavily. The store stood alone, surrounded by darkness. Inside, it was eerily quiet, almost unsettling. A lone customer waited, feeling uneasy. They could hear the thunder rumbling outside. Shadows flickered in the stormy night. The cashier felt a growing sense of dread. With each flash, the tension escalated. Time felt like it was standing still. Then, a loud crash echoed through the store. Fear gripped both the customer and the cashier. What would happen next in the storm? The employee working alone noticed a man. He stood outside near the gas pumps. The rain poured heavily around him. The dark forest loomed behind him. He appeared motionless and eerie. Fluorescent lights flickered above. Raindrops created ripples in puddles. The employee felt a sense of unease. The man shifted slightly, but stayed still. The wind howled through the gas station. He suddenly looked directly at the employee. The gas station felt eerily empty. The rain intensified, adding to the tension. He stood there for nearly 20 minutes. The rain fell steadily around him. The atmosphere was unsettling and quiet. He seemed lost in thought. Puddles formed around him, glistening. No one else was around. The rain created a rhythmic sound. The gas station felt abandoned. Time seemed to stand still. He was waiting for something. The world around him was blurred. He remained there, silent and still. Eventually, the employee walked outside. He stepped into the empty parking lot. He looked around, searching for someone, but the atmosphere felt eerie and still. The gas pumps were flickering ominously. An unsettling silence filled the air. He called out, asking if anyone needed help. His voice echoed in the emptiness, but there was no response. He felt a chill run down his spine. Something didn't feel right, and then he realized he was alone. He turned quickly, startled by a sound, but the man was gone. The only thing left behind was a trail of wet footprints leading toward the woods. The gas station lights flicker as the rain falls softly. The sound of raindrops echoes. Something waits in the shadows, a presence felt but unseen. The trail begins to fade. Left alone in the rain, the woods hold their secrets, and the night remains silent. Police searched the area for hours. They moved cautiously through the darkness. The forest was dense and eerie. Every sound echoed through the night. The fog added to the uncertainty. They were on high alert. They coordinated their search efforts. The search area was vast and dark. Every clue was crucial. Time was running out, but nobody was ever found. The mystery remained unsolved. After that night, employees refused to work alone anymore. The atmosphere felt heavy with dread. Every corner seemed to whisper secrets. The silence was deafening and unsettling. Outside, the world felt distant and unwelcoming. Strange shadows danced in the corners of their eyes. Time seemed to stretch into eternity. The neon buzz was the only sound that remained. The parking lot felt like a graveyard. A chill ran down their spines as the wind howled. They felt watched, even when alone, and so they never returned alone. Some people believed it was just paranoia. Others weren't so sure. The silence felt heavy. Something was off in the air. Whispers of the unknown lingered. The night seemed to stretch endlessly. Time had forgotten these places. Memories faded like the paint. Only the brave dared to travel. Doubt crept into their minds. What secrets lay hidden here? They could feel eyes watching. The journey was just beginning, because strange things happen during night shifts. Things people rarely talk about. The darkness hides many secrets. You never know what's watching you. Every sound feels amplified. The air is thick with tension. You can feel the weight of the night. Strange sounds echo in the silence. The road seems to stretch on forever. Moments of clarity can be terrifying. You are not alone out here. What happens in the dark stays in the dark. Maybe it's exhaustion. Maybe it's isolation. Or maybe some places become different after midnight. Maybe it's exhaustion. Maybe it's isolation. Or maybe some places become different after midnight. Maybe it's exhaustion. Maybe it's isolation. Or maybe some places become different after midnight. And if you ever find yourself alone on a night shift, pay attention to what's watching from the dark. A chill runs down your spine. You can feel it watching you. Every sound amplifies the tension. What lurks in the shadows? Is it real or just your imagination? You can't shake the feeling that you're not alone. What is watching you? Because not every customer is human. The night is alive. Something stirs in the shadows. An eerie silence falls. The lights begin to fade. One by one, they shut off. The storm approaches. What lurks in the night? Something waits. The tension builds, and then silence. The end is